Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for jumping on. We are incredibly blessed to have the amazing Jeff with some friends also helping him. So, we just wanted to have a chat to everybody about building the business out because I know that's probably the main question we're getting at the moment. We have some people that I call it a bush, not a tree. So, if we can get it set up correctly from the start, it just makes a world of difference. And also, we're going to touch on the funnel, but we just want to do a bit of a disclaimer. The funnel is still in beta, whatever you say, beta phase. So there is still a little few glitches. So Jeff will touch on that. But yes, if there is anything that you need more in depth, there is the support inside the funnel. So, cool. All right, Jeff, I'll hand it over to you and see what you've got to say to us.
Cool. Thanks, you, Jodie, and thank you very much for setting this up. You're doing a brilliant job. And so just a bit of Zoom etiquette and all that sort of thing. If you just everybody mute themselves unless they actually want to unmute and ask a question, just so we can sort of help limit the background noise a little bit, that'd be absolutely fantastic. And if it's appropriate, I mean, like if you're driving a car, if you're just getting out of the shower, like keep your camera off. But if it is appropriate, I love to see people's faces. I love to interact. So please do your cameras on. That would be absolutely amazing. All right. So guys, this is an open Q&A and I'm here to support all of you amazing people who are joining this on the Aurum team. It's been an absolute whirlwind. Kay and Jodie done an absolute million job, building this team out to where you are. I still pinch me moments, right? It started January 3rd, beginning of this year. Now I've got a team of over 2,050 people, just about to hit magnet, earns $130,000 US dollars in commissions in that time. This is an opportunity that has just transformed my life and my family's life, and helping other people to do the same thing. It's just absolutely amazing ride. And just today, just to give you all a bit of inspiration, I actually just purchased the tickets for 5 of us, a family of 5, so I've got 3 boys, to go to America. So we're actually heading to America from the middle of May to the middle of August. So we're going to be stateside for 3 months. So that's actually just happened today. And it's all thanks to, the opportunity and the abundance that, things like Aurum have brought into our world. So my heart's desire is to help people like Jodie, help people like Kay, help people like Caroline and everybody else here on this journey with us to be able to go replicate that, to be able to go create similar stories to that. Whether it takes you 3 months or whether it takes you 12 months, I truly believe we're all on a journey here to really leverage this amazing opportunity. And like, we only just got started, but it's pretty freaking awesome start. And, just like we've worked out a few things along the way. So I want to be able to help, teach you guys so you don't make the same mistakes that we made, but also, help empower you and equip you and set you up for success. So as I said, open Q&A, this is very much a power hour style call. If you're not talking, I'll just get you to mute yourself, but feel free to unmute yourself. How about we do this so we don't talk over the top of each other? There is, if you know how to use it, go down to react, just put your hand up and we can call you out one at a time. But who would like to go first? Who's got a burning question? I'm here to support you all. Jodie, is there anything specific that you want to focus on to get started with?
It's probably just the 333. Like people that are starting from scratch just really want to understand how it works and how to pick where to put people and stuff like that. So that's probably the main thing that's coming through from all beginners.
Cool. All right, well, let's do that, Caroline. I do see your hand up. I'll answer this question, go into that, and then I'll come to questions. So that'll be a really great start. So look, guys, I'm about to share this transparently with you. I'm going to share my own back office here and some of the details with people's names and whatnot. I just ask you keep them confidential. Yes, this call's being recorded, but we won't share it too publicly, please, Jodie. You can share it to your team, but that's about it. And I am going to, the numbers that you're going to see on my screen, there are some big numbers. I don't want that to overwhelm you. But even if you could just do 10% or 20% or 30%, that's pretty, focus on where your journey's at. Don't go into the space of cursive comparison. I've been doing this since 2009. I'm a seasoned pro in this space. But, you can definitely fast track your journey. It won't take you 17 years to get this sort of success. We can definitely work together and help you to do it in 7 months, 2 years, whatever that type of thing works. But let's do it together. All right. So I'm going to basically start from, a bit of a base, and then we'll get into Q&A. So the first thing you want to know is what is the rank requirements, and then we'll talk about structure. So the very first thing that we want to tackle here is this confusing point here of this LV. Like people ask me, why don't we just get rid of the LV points and whatnot? And I totally agree with you. I haven't got control over it all, so we do want to work with what we've got. I think the LV, to be honest, was something that was original before we come on board. But reality is these are just the legacy volume points, we call them. And what we need is the total volume, and the total volume is 40% is the legacy volume. So basically, I just look at this and I've worked out a real easy rule of math. Whatever the legacy volume points are required, just times it by 2.5, and that'll give you the 60% on top of what you really need for the total volume. So for 3,000, times it by 2.5, that's 7,500. 10,000 times it by 2.5, that's 25,000. That's total. And I've just found that to be a really easy rule of thumb, right? So for me, right, I've got to hit, and here's another area you can always see too, to see what's your required volume, your required rank, and your required ranks. And so these are the three areas you've got to hit the targets. As you can see, I've got the $1 million legacy volume points, right? So if you times that by 2.5, that means I've got over $2.5 million trading underneath me. I've got to up my personal requirements, which I will do as soon as I get this prime. Now I've got, if you go to my ranks, Jodie's one of them. I've actually got 4 people who are Oracle, and I've got 13 people who are Nexuses very quickly. So either one of these 4 or 13 can jump up and hit prime very quickly. And then once that happens, I bump up to the next rank and away we go. And this is why it's a team effort, right? We want to be always working with our team. Now, however, I'm sort of at the top of this and I can't help everybody, 20 generations down, but I can empower people like Leanne, like Kay, like Jodie, to do the same thing. And that's where we can replicate this whole system by doing the 3x3 in a perfect world, but you're not going to have it in a perfect world because some people only want to join and they just want to benefit themselves. They don't want to build. And some will want to build straight away. But the idea is we want to get to, basically creating a Voyager factory as fast as possible. Get everybody to Voyager. They only need $7,500 volume underneath them. They don't even need 3 legs to start that. We get people going to Voyager, then we get people going to Vanguard, then we get people going to Vanguard Pro, and then we start to really see this pop and grow, right? So Vanguard Pro, you need 2 legs, and you need 2 Vanguards in there, right? And so 2 Vanguards, you need 2 Voyagers. Voyager, you just need the $7,500 volume. So if we could all start, building a culture of creating a Voyager factory, this is where it gets really exciting and taking off. And like, guys, just for, transparency's sake, $130,000, people ask you, how can you withdraw that? You can withdraw, no problems. Just to answer that question while we're here. Yep, no problems at all. I've been withdrawing pretty much every day now for the last 2 months. And withdrawn over $100,000 easy. So most of that is all from the partner program, very transparently on that side of things. It's getting pretty exciting with the bot now starting to produce, $40, $50. And I only got 7,000 on this account, but I do have 3 other accounts. I've got about probably $25,000 trading personally now. A bit of gold going there as well. So coming back to your structure. So it's a good idea to understand your ranks. And then what we need to know is basically it's the 3x3 strategy, right? So in theory, I've personally brought in over 150 people, right? And I've scattered them all over my 3 legs between people for me to personally hit the ranks. Now, I'll be very transparent. Leadership is about putting the oxygen mask on first, then helping your people out of the overflow and abundance versus helping you out of lack and scarcity, right? So I'll always look at, what do I need? And then once I've got what I need, then it's look, okay, what does Daryl need? What does Dave need? What does Jodie need? That type of thing to be able to work out of overflow and abundance all the time, right? So there are no free rides, but for those who are hungry, for those of you who are showing up on this call, those who are building, we will build with you. Now, that said, right, so what's this 3x3 strategy? To be very transparent, we can actually, put everybody direct to us. The 150 people that I've personally brought on, I could personally put them all direct to my levels. And I would have all the volume to be able to hit the ranks. And yes, I would probably, on 3% or 5% direct commission, whatever that is, depending on the rank that I'm at, I would be getting that direct commission. Now, let's think about this though. if I'm giving away quite a fair bit of direct commission to our team, and so is the leaders in this team as well, right? Because we're creating a culture of generosity. But in the same time, the bonus money is where the money really is, and getting there really as fast as possible. So yes, give away your personals. You only need 3 legs to go all the way to the top. So you really only need 3 directs. And so put in your mum, put in your best friend, put in your top builder at the top, wherever it is on those 3 legs, and be strategic about it and be smart about it, because they're prime real estate positions. And then what you want to do is also, for me, like one of my 3 legs is I put my wife in one of my 3rd leg, right? So I'm getting her ranking up. But every time we put money into my wife's spot account, my top account, as I said, it's at Elite now, it will be at Magnet. I'm no longer getting 3% direct commission. I'm getting close on like 19 and 20% direct commission. So it's in our best interest to actually help our team grow. So simply, you want to start with a 3x3 structure in mind from day one. Now, you only need 2 legs to go to Oracle, and then you need to kick in the 3rd leg to go to Prime. Now, what we've also seen, and I said I've got 4 Oracles at the moment, and I was at the same position as well. You know, everybody that's having the same challenges, I've already had them or exponentially got them bigger than everybody else. And so what we've seen is when I started, right, I was just told to just really go focus on 2 legs. Go focus on 2 legs, worry about your 3rd leg later. And what we've seen in that process is you get to Nexus, you get to Oracle, and then you've lost all your momentum. Now you got to start again, really. You got to build that 3rd leg. So Jodie's come in a really good position, because I know that she's building out deep, but she's also building out the balance. And I understand, guys, that this is a touch screen. So if we just stop from touching the screen for the moment, because you're drawing all over the screen, please, and it's very distracting. So we got the 3 legs going, you know, with a 3x3 there. And so you want to be focusing on building deep, but also keeping the balance. So what I like to say is always look at reinforcing your weakest leg, meaning that, like right now, you know, I've got to get someone to Prime, but my 3rd leg is probably my weakest leg. So that is where my attention goes, right? Where your attention goes is where you're going to grow. And so I don't necessarily need to support my other 2 legs and put personals in them. The way that I support them is mentoring and coaching and helping them to get through objections and helping them to empower them and equip them. And like I said, very much the 80-20 rule, right? So 80% of my personal efforts going into my weaker leg, 20% will go and help the team and versus around. But it's also shifted now. You know, over the 3 legs, I just need one person to go Prime. So now my focus has shifted on all 3 legs to see who's the quickest person I can get to Prime to be able for me to unlock that rank at Magnet. And then once I've done that, my next one is Mythos. I need to get my 3rd leg. I need to have someone to hit Prime in the other leg. And I also need to have someone hit Oracle, right? So this is where you now start to actually get a bit easier, because you've got exponential growth going in. You've got some builders in your other legs, and it actually is just about, really, it's about management and balance and leading by example. But let's say you're starting out, right? And so I had someone start out over the weekend with 50,000. 50,000. I had another person start with 30,000. And they wanted to get to Vanguard pretty much within their first day, right? So we go to, can I delete that? There we go. So we're going to basically say, right, for this example, you're jumping in with 30,000, and then we'll go back with that. Now, I understand not everybody's got $30,000. Nobody can do that, but just don't put that aside for a second. I'm just giving you structure, right? So what you want to do straight out the gate is you want to buy probably, this person, we got to buy 5 positions, right? So set up the top account. We put $1,000 in that one. We put $1,000 in this one. We put $1,000 in this one. And then we split up the other 27 between the other 2, right? So we put 13.5 here, 13.5 here. What that's done automatically is pop this one up to Voyager, because it's 7,500 plus. Now we've got the Voyager. We've got this one up here to Voyager. Now, what was it we needed to hit Vanguard? We needed 25,000, right? So now we've got actually 29,000 below this position, and we've got the 2 Voyagers. So now this position here is at Vanguard. And what we did with the other 20-odd thousand that was left is we got them to buy this position and then put in the rest, the surplus, into this bot. Now, we didn't do that first because if we did that first, they'd only get 3% direct commission because that one's on Nova. But now this is at Vanguard, they've actually getting 7% direct commission on that. So that's how we start to balance it out right there. And then it's really just playing the volume in the rank game, volume and rank game. You know, where are you? Where is your volume? Where's your ranks? And so, for example, right, let me just stop this now, and I'll go back to my own personal ranking here, right? So I've got to hit, what have I got to get? I got to get 1 prime, right? So I'm going to now go to my ranks. I got 4 oracles, 13 nexuses. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to just tick oracle. I'm going to go search, and then it's going to come up here with the list of the 4 oracles. So I personally need one of these 4 oracles to go to prime. Here we go. We got Jodie, right? So we got Jodie. I know for Jodie to go to prime, she needs $250,000 volume points in legacy volume, right? So how do I work that out to see what is required for that? So 250, let's go minus the 209,344. Okay, so that means that she needs 40,000 legacy volume points under her team to help her to get the volume required. We're going to times that by 2.5 to get the total. So Jodie needs an over $100,000 in her team to get the volume points to required to hit prime. Now that's how you work out the volume, and then you work out what is the actual ranks we need now. So we open this up, and we go right. So for her to hit prime, she needs 2 nexuses and 1 Vanguard Pro. So I'm going to look at it. Okay, she's got a nexus. Okay, she's got a nexus. Whoa, look at that. She is so close. You know, Amy, if you're on this call, well done. You're almost a Vanguard Pro. So now I can say to Jodie, and I can go back to Jodie as a mentor and a coach, and I can say, hey, well done. You know, you're so close to hitting prime. You know, what's the target? What's our game plan? You know, what's our action plan? Like I have done to Jodie, you know, just ask her. I've already had those messages and go, okay, so let's work it out. You know, where do you need someone to go underneath you? Where do you need some balance out here to help you to do it? And let's work together as a team. Because now it's in my best interest. Now I go have that same conversation with my 4 oracles, and you know, and the space there, I'm going to basically, you know, selfishly, I'm going to work with whoever's closest to be able to go and help them to do that, right? Because I said, put the oxygen mask on first, and then fill out of the overflow and abundance, and it all sort of, yeah, everybody's turn comes around eventually. So it's sort of conversation. So that's sort of, you know, how I work out ranking and structure. That's sort of a 10,000 foot overview sort of on that conversation. So let's open it up for Q&A. And guys, I really only have 45 minutes for this call. So I've got to jump on 7:45. So just a heads up on that. So Jodie, does that help you to give a bit of a base?
Yeah, that's awesome. So it's just to show people where to look in the back office as well, like see who's underneath you. And that's why, like I always say, make sure you know your numbers.
Yeah. And look, as in a leadership conversation too, right? We should always inspect what we expect. You know, Josh is always having the same conversation with me, and it's always just going down the line. And, you know, I'm always reaching out to our key leaders to see where they're at, to inspect their numbers, to sort of create a bit of an accountability there, but also to use that as a tool to be able to go, right, great work. This is where we're at. Let's go from good to great. And what's our game plan?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's really good. And I think it was either yourself or Josh also said it's really good to look 2 ranks ahead.
Yeah, so I've been saying that probably for a while now, and so this is it's a little bit of like I don't like to use the word manifestation because it's not, but it's focused energy, right? Our results and our energy goes where our focus goes, and so if we can get laser focused in, and I'm the type of person that'll always aim to the moon. If I miss, I'll land amongst the stars, right? So whenever I do any goal setting, I'll work out what is my big, scary, audacious goal. What's going to stretch me? What's going to force me to grow? What's going to help me to grow? But if I miss that, I'm always going to hit the next one down. So, you know, I like to start to teach the culture of the team. You know, yes, be mindful of what your next rank is because you need to, you know, don't discount that, but put your eyes on the horizon and focus on the bigger game because that's going to stretch you. That's going to help you to get out of your comfort zone because otherwise it's very easy to get comfortable with this and just ride on the laurels, like, you know, and type of thing. And yeah, so it's just a way to help you to laser fake your energy.
And I was just going to say, it's like one thing, like there's a lot of us that have come from digital marketing days. We've been in this space for 2.5 years, and this is most of these guys who like have NFI about crypto, and the ones that are excelling have just run with it. They're just like, I don't even hear most of
Look,
the
you know, here's a secret. I know fuck all about crypto. You know, literally, I've only been on this journey for about 2 years, and I'm learning as I grow. I've got a few basics, but you know, and very transparently and candid, my first real crypto project was Texit. And so I jumped into Texit and, you know, blind faith with the person who brought me into it and the trust and all that sort of thing. But I did very well with Texit because I was so young and naive, and I brought in 33 people into that, and I did very, very well for myself. And there's almost that naivety and that ignorance, you know, ignorance on fire sort of conversation really goes in your favor. And I think so, as we can go into this space, you know, more knowledge can actually be detrimental because it can actually overwhelm us and it can actually paralyze us.
Exactly. But and one thing I do want to say that is even like in my team, especially, like so many people have reached out and they're like, Jodes, I've never ranked up in anything. And I'm like, me either.
Yeah.
Like never. Like in the amount of people that we've had ranking up.
So both these guys. Yeah, so I'll pass it over to the questions. That's a great statement there, you know. And so people are ranking up in this for the first time in years or ever. Both Dazza and Dave have been, you know, Daryl's been with me for 12 months now. Dave's going on 2.5, 3 years with me. Never really ranked up in anything before in the last, and they're already, you know, Daryl's already almost Vanguard Pro and Dave's almost Oracle. So there you go. So well done. All right, Caroline, you had a question, so let's go to Caroline first.
I did, and it's one that I sort of am okay with answering, but it's a question that we often get when new people come into our community, and that's the fact that, you know, you, Jeff, everyone we know, Josh, everyone we know hasn't been in it for long enough to be able to withdraw after the 12 months. How's the best way to tackle that question?
Incorrect. Okay, incorrect. I have withdrawn already. So I have actually gone through the 35% fee process, all of that sort of thing. No problems at all. So just want to create some clarity around that, but then also I'll ask another question. So how do you mean just around the 12-month mark? What do you mean actually?
So if someone puts in $10,000 and they've got to wait for 12 months to withdraw that 10 grand, people are asking for proof, evidence that it actually works.
Okay.
And yeah.
So HP has definitely, you know, the person who introduced Josh, he's got screenshots and all that sort of thing. And all I can give you is word of mouth at the moment. And so, yes, he has gone ahead and withdrawn his original amounts, no problems at all. I have personally gone through, I put $1,000 in at the 3rd of January. I withdrew that mid-March. I wore the 35% fee just because I wanted to prove to people that it can be done. So a lot of people are getting hung up on this whole 12-month mark. And the reality is if you've got $10,000, you leave it in for 5 months, you withdraw it after 5 months, even wearing the 35% fee, you're still well ahead. So
I say it's just like it's no different to a term deposit. And you don't get your interest in the bank unless you leave it in there for whatever the term is.
And that's the other way of dealing with it as well, right? It's exactly just creates some clarity. It's no difference to a CD account in America or a term deposit in Australia. And so then I also back it up with the reason why, right? So if you ever haven't read the book, I highly recommend go grab the book, Simon Sinek, Start With Why. And the best way to handle any objection that's ever thrown at you is just to understand that people don't know enough, KNOW enough, and they're seeking clarity, right? So the best way to give people clarity is to lead with the why. So the why on the 12-month structure, the why on the early redemption on the 35% fee, I actually did a post on this the other day just because everybody was asking me the same question. So, right, I'll kind of tackle it up the front and get ahead of it. That's probably the best way to handle objections. And so the 12-month fee is because you think of it a term deposit, think of a CD account, right? They're going to lock it up for 12 months because their whole strategy, everything that they put into it, the technicality of it all relies on that whole 12-month process. And it's the same with this AI trading bot with the pool of money. They also put the 35% fee on there to prevent everybody withdrawing all at one hit. You know, because if everybody did that, the whole thing would come coming down, crashing down, and it would be a complete mess. So the 35% fee is a way to sort of help people to commit, if you will, into that, because nobody wants to lose money. Like, you know, me doing it the other day, it was a sacrifice, it was a cost. Okay, yes, I've made a shitload out on the affiliate side of things. So really, in the scheme of things, it's not really a loss. But at the end of the day, nobody really likes to throw money away. So it's a psychology thing too. And so it's just about creating a sense of clarity. And really what people are looking for is they're looking for posture, they're looking for confidence, they're looking for that you know your shit, they're looking for that you're not just leading people blindly, and you're there to support them on the journey.
I think for all of us on the call tonight, just seeing your screen where you said you've been able to withdraw, we saw all those red withdrawals.
Yeah.
None of us have seen withdrawals like that. So I think everyone would find that really beneficial.
Yeah, and so I do Facebook Lives all the time for that very reason, to be able to help create that sense of transparency. Now, I understand. Look, I had someone ask me the other day, where's the white paper? Where's the trading history? You know, all of those sort of really hard questions. And the reality is there is no white paper, because this is it's not necessarily a coin. You know, it's a platform. There's some reasons behind all of that too. And there is no trading history, because if they show you the trading history, they're going to give you the proprietary sort of, rules and that sort of thing out here. However, I have gone to Josh, and Josh has gone to Brian, and I do know that there are resources to create a level of transparency to be able to handle some of these objections more easily. They are coming down the road, and then that will help the more skeptical people out there. Now, they're skeptical and they're cynical. I had come across in a crypto group the other day, and this bloke was flat out cynical, and comes to the point, really, like he was just arguing black and blue that this whole thing's a scam. Everything that I showed him was fake. He asked for screenshots. He asked for proof of withdrawal. He asked for all that. I provided it to him, gave him everything he asked for. And he said, that's all AI. That's all bullshit. That's all fake. Right. So it doesn't matter. Sometimes you can't say the right thing to the wrong person. They're going to be very, so there's a difference between healthy skepticism and just being a complete wanker and being cynical. And so, no matter how it goes.
I say to those people, I'm like, this space is not for you. And then nine times out, they literally come back crawling. So, someone I'm just going to read it out to you. It said, what does it mean when it says LV represents 40% of the sales made in your team? Where does this?
Yeah, look, that's a really, really great question. I'm glad someone asked that, because that's always another one that stumps people. So let's go to that, right? So, financial bots. Here we go. Right. So is this the question we're asking, just to clarify, this client share, company share? Is that what people are asking? Just to clarify.
I think she means as in 40% of the LV is 40%.
That's why I put myself up. I thought, hang on, I'm going down the wrong rabbit hole. Thanks, Daryl. All right. So I'm going to tackle both questions. So basically 40% LV is legacy volume points. And so, but your total trading volume, so let's say it's 10,000 LV, is 25,000 total trading volume to hit the rank of Vanguard, right? If you do the math, 40% of 25,000 is 10,000. So it can get a bit confusing, right? Because I truly believe that they need to update the comp plan here because of this very reason. To me, the whole terminology of LV, legacy volume point, and this 40% rule, it's absolutely redundant. I don't understand why it's there, but it is. So we've got to educate people. We've got to empower and equip people. So essentially, it's just a way that they've measured it to be able to create the ranks and all that sort of thing there. So, basically, it's a 40% rule of the total trading volume. Like for me, right, I've got a million LV points, which actually really means I've got 2.5 million traded underneath me from my position. And then a 40% of that is 1 million points. So the easiest way to figure it all out is just look at what the LV is and then just times it by 2.5. Yeah, minus the same wing.
I was talking about that. We were like, we're dividing by 60% times 40%. And when we heard the two, like, why did we not do that from the start?
Yeah, no, I stumbled across that same thing the other day, and I was like a brick wall, man. I was like, oh yeah, it's easy just to get 2.5. So,
I think it was on Josh's call.
Yeah. So let me tackle this question here too, right? Because a lot of people get confused about this one. Why is the client share 60% here and the company share 40%? Some people are saying flat out, right, one of the other objections is this is a Ponzi scheme. They're paying out your commissions out of people's deposits. Well, incorrect. They're actually paying commissions out of the profit from the profit pool, right? So here, I can earn up to 14%, but I actually don't earn, I earn 14%. But if the bot's trading at 17%, I'm only going to get 14%. You know, here I'm going to get 14.8%. So what is happening here is the profit, 80% comes to me, 20% goes to the company, right? So what that means is, let's say there's about 3 months ago, the recording was, the industry stat was there's over $100 million already trading in under the bot. That was 3 months ago, so I'm well and truly above that now. But let's just keep the math a round figure. There's $100 million trading in the bot. Let's say the bot performs at 1%. Like, it's a good day. It's cracked 1%. I haven't seen 1% yet, but let's see it's close. We've got to 0.8%. But let's say, if you just keep the math easy, it's 1% today. So that means out of the 100 million, 1% is 1 million. So from that $1 million pool, the profit pool, they're paying out the company, they're paying out the bonus share, the commission share, you know, the profit share, all of that from the bonuses, from the profit each day. So that's how they're saying, you know, this is a performance-based company. And if anybody comes back to you and says it's a Ponzi scheme, well, no, it's not coming out of that. It's coming out of this, and that's how we're all winning together. So that's the difference between company share and client share. Yeah, and that's how the whole thing stays sustainable. You know, the company is actually making money. It is a for-profit business model after all.
And another question that someone had today is the profit share coming from their team?
So once again, the profit share is coming out of the pool of the profits from your team, right? So yes, it's whatever's below you, whatever that profit share was for the whole sort of sum of that team, and then you're getting paid a percentage of that profit share, right? So for example, right, I've got over 2,000 people in my team now. The profit share that I'm getting on per day is anywhere from $500 to $800 per day just on the profit share. Then you've got all of the deposits coming in as well, and the other things on top of that. You know, so personally, like I don't think I've had a day below $2,000 a day now passively.
That's so amazing. Even the other day, like, I've been so sick. I still sound sick, but I've been so sick for 2.5 weeks, and I'm still earning like $500 US a day. Like,
yeah, right. So once you get to Oracle, it gets pretty exciting and gets above that, and you start to see the real money sort of real kick in. Even like, you know, Dave sitting on, you know, Nexus, you know, he's excited getting $60 and $100 dollars a day sort of come in, you know, that type of thing. But you start to see the whole thing get exponentially and starts to work, and it can start to grow very quickly, especially if your team starts to explode. Now, that all said on that conversation, you know, you can be outranked. So, you know, people, even people below you, they can get a higher rank than you. And if they get a higher rank than you, then that stops. So it's really important for you to stay at least 1 or 2 ranks ahead of your whole team as you're going up. You know, I've got people in my team already who are complaining to me because they've been outranked because they haven't built the structure properly. You know, and one person and this is a really good lesson to learn from everybody. He didn't listen to me. He went and put 20 people direct to him. He's got all the volume, but he hasn't got the ranks. And now he's seeing me get all this passive income and shooting himself in the foot. And it's like, I should have listened to Jeff in the first place. So people can outrank you. And, you know, and if they're the same rank as you, you're not going to. So like, if you've got 3 legs, right, and you're an Oracle, and then one of your other legs turns to an Oracle, well, you're not going to get the commissions for that leg because they're going to get it. So you always want to stay at least 1 to 2 ranks above your people.
Yeah, that is true. And it's funny because nearly everybody has just one strong leg for some reason.
Everybody will, right? It's just the law of growth, and you're never going to have 3 legs run off at the same time. You're always going to have one weaker leg. Some people have got 2 strong legs. Some people have got 1 strong leg. It just is what it is. So, you know, I'm just very blessed that, you know, I've been on this journey since 2009. I've made a lot of strong relationships with a lot of strong networkers. So when I came to this and I was one of the first to go, hey, you want to jump onto this? I had, you know, 10 builders jump in with me straight away, and that's why the team's exploded. But guys, it's taken me 15 years to build those type of relationships. And as I said, don't go comparing your journey to my journey, your level 1 to my level 1,000. You know, it's you've all got to start somewhere, and just know that you're in the right team. Like, and to be honest, like, we only just got started. Like, you know, 2,000 people below me, 3,000 people below Josh, And now with this new system, the new funnel, which I'll spend a bit of time on that in a second, you know, we built all this without a system. Now we bring in a system. This is where things start to get very exciting, start to explode. And to give you just some sort of evidence to the contrary on that story, this guy here to the left of me, Dazza, you know, he's been putting in people, he's put in his family, he's put in a couple of people, but just in this last 24, 48 hours, I've just seen this guy come to life. And just before we got onto this call, he just put up a meeting with a really, really big leader from his Enagic days. And we just had a conversation with him. He's coming on board because now we've got the story. Now we've got the testimony. Now we've got the belief. Now we've got the confidence behind all this. And Dazza just jumps onto me before and he says, oh, by the way, those videos I've been putting up, I've now got 4 or 5 leads coming. And like, you know, talk about, you know, opportunity to step up and shine. We all have the same thing here. And so leverage my story, leverage Jodie's story, leverage Kay's story. If you don't have your own story yet, leverage other people's story and just be excited about it, because people will buy your belief. Everything in this whole business is just a transfer of energy, and it's a transfer of belief.
I share your stuff all the time, so share it.
Why not? It's there for everybody. Cool. All right. So before I go into this system and spend the last 10 minutes on that, just a bit of an overview. Does anybody else have any other burning questions?
Just wanted to touch on something Marnie said there. You mentioned about having people rank up and you stop getting that money. It is only in that leg, and I've got the perfect example of that, where I've got that Vanguard under me and I need that second one to go, Vanguard Pro. So I've lost that daily amount that's covered here, so it's a bit of a kick in the bum to get moving.
Yeah, it's only that leg. You don't stop earning passively for all 3 legs. It's just that one that's got that same rank as you or above you.
Can you get it back?
Yep. As soon as you rank up.
As soon as I rank up above us.
Yeah. So, for example, right, Raf is one of the very first people I put in, Raphael. You may have recognized that name on some of our calls and whatnot. My good Polish friend who lives in Canada. You know, he's been really focused heavily on his Ollie Life product and, you know, building this in the background. And I've been saying to him the whole time, like, get going with me, build with me on this, because there's some really fast money on the table. And like his Nexus, and he's got 2 oracles above him now, and they're almost ready to go prime. And now he's starting to see, oh shit, now I've got to get my acting together. Like, this guy can build, like he can go put 200 people in, no problem as well. And he will, you know, get above them, you know, if he puts in some forced laser intentional focus on them. But if he just keeps running idle, then they're going to take off and he'll have no chance of catching up. So
you can't rely on your team. You have to act.
You know, that's the thing. Like, I'm going to go all the way to the top of the comp plan on this, with or without you. I want to go with you. I want to run with all of you, but I'm going to go do it on my own back if I have to, with or without you. So that's why I say there are no free rides, but we will build with you. And it's a rising tides raise all ships conversation. We're seeing story after story, you know, follow that. Like, to be honest, I couldn't give 2 shits about the 130,000 I've earned. I like to celebrate the fact that, you know, you guys are earning 10,000, 20,000, 50,000. I want to start sharing those stories about it all. I share my story, not to gloat, you know, but to be inspirational, to lead by example, to say, hey, if I can do it, you guys can follow along.
I find it so inspiring. But I just want to definitely start building out that 3rd leg, because like it's come up to me having to need 3 legs already, like really quickly. Yeah. So like I always say, focus on the 2, but always chip away at that 3rd one, because you do not want to be starting at 0.
Yeah, so I would say at the very early days, focus on 2 legs until you sort of get past Vanguard Pro, even to Nexus. And then once you sort of start to get to Vanguard Pro, Nexus, then you want to concentrate on that 3rd leg and get that going pretty quickly.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I think Marnie was just saying about today. We had one Voyager, Vanguard Pros, bang, 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 all in one go.
Yeah. I've actually seen it where, like, I've had like 6 people rank up on the same day because someone put in a large amount of money just in the right position. You know, someone went Voyager, someone went Vanguard. It was when Dave went Nexus. You know, someone went Vanguard, someone went Voyager, someone went Vanguard Pro, Dave went Nexus. And it was like, and then I went, I think it was Prime. And so, like, it was just all in one go. We all ranked up together. It was pretty awesome.
I love that. So we'll just quickly touch on the funnel, because I know you need to jump off in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Jeff and I were actually just talking earlier. We're like, if you're new and you're just starting to build, get onto this funnel, because it's going to be so much easier to set up for you. Yes. So yeah, if you could just touch Really, I know you can't have to go too much in depth with it, but
yeah, I'm not going to go too much in depth with it because there are major changes happening, and I just want to be very clear. This is very glitchy at the moment. It's there have been things that people have joined, gone ahead and used it, and people have joined and been placed directly to them and all that sort of stuff. Guys, I've got to be very clear. This is in beta test. This is like version 0.001 of it all. So like we're running it out. Josh is in the team are perfecting it all. They're fixing the broken things that are coming up and being reported as we go. And I believe in the next 7 to 10 days, even probably sooner, this will be ready to roll out and go big bang time. And so let's go. But simply just come to the Pro AI Finance dashboard. Make sure you sign up with your upline, get the link so you're getting it from them, and just go to launch really and just follow follow your nose. We're breaking it down so really it's a recipe. Like, and if everybody cooks the same recipe, they'll cook the same chocolate cake at the other end of it all, right? So make sure that you're just following your nose and coming to that space. If you do need support, look, support's not that great at the moment because Josh is really the only person who's building this out. He is investing his support team and resources in to build out a proper support team in that space. So support will be there. And that's probably the best place to go for support, but it's got its own rotator link. So the idea here is all we have to do is share our link, out in the front there. And so this link here on all of my posts and all of my comments, instead of having to worry about trying to get other people's codes all the time and everything in that space, you just share your link and the system will kick in. And the idea here is that we're going to use the 3x3 strategy and get the rotator kicked in that space, right? Now, you don't need to put everybody's code in when you're setting it all up. For me personally, I'm really focused in on my third leg underneath Dave, and I'm just really intentionally putting people under there and using the system there. Now, that said, if you've got a really big builder and you want to make sure that they're going in the spot that's going to help you and help them, then don't use the system, don't use the funnel, go back to doing it manual and go through like I've just told Dazza to do and sign them up with the original link, sign them up with the original thing and use it as a hybrid model. This is not like like your GPS, right? When you set it to go from Brisbane to the Northern Territory and it's telling you to go drive through a dam, like, are you going to drive through a dam? No, you're going to go around it and get back on track. So don't use these systems blindly. They are a way to support us, right? Because growth will rise and fall to the level of our leadership and our systems. And so we're looking at ways to always run faster and explode on this space. So this is one of these tools that we're going to bring into it to be able to really get this part. But what I do like about this is the AI. Have a play with the AI here. This is pretty cool with the ask, Coach Josh and ask the AI side of things here. Any questions, any objections, like come here and ask them first. Like this is pretty switched on and have a play around with it. The other thing I do like about this as well is like the team hub, like, when we're onboarding people, to give you access to the resources, the competition here, the flyers, everything you need at your fingertips, like the AI generator to help out with content, the schedule, the community chats here. These aren't up to date moment, but they are going to have training videos, how to share the opportunity, building teams. So Josh and I are creating these at the moment. They're not done. Objection handler tool, prospecting messenger tool, looking at the activity feed here to create a bit of community vibe here as well. We've got our competition. There's a quick testimonial of me hitting 100,000 my first 90 days. So we've got that tool there. We're also going to create a space here for a central hub for replays. So if you just put replay vaults on the end of that, you'll have the replays here. This is our Super Saturday that we did 2 weeks ago, and my testimonial here. And so this is going to be the place where we put all our replays. So it's all in one place and nice and easy to find. And away we go from there, right? So look, guys, it's very, as I said, very much in beta. But get in here, have a play, have a funnel with it, have a click. When I get into these things, I go click on everything. I go, what's this do? What's that do? I'm looking to break the system. I'm looking to learn through experience as well. And going in that space. At the end of the day, you can't break it. But what this is what I do like, I like these, this system here where we can go, okay, these people here have signed up. These are people that I've actually spoken to. These are people that I've won, and we can start to look at our team and we can start to see the team's leads as well. Anybody else is using. So that whole inspect what you expect, this is a very powerful tool. right? So I can go to Dazza, I can say, hey, Dazza, how's Timothy going? Or how's, this one going? That type of thing. We can click on it. We can put notes here for our people here. Like I've got a phone number I can call. That's my personal one. So I can call them or I can email them, and I can save a note there. I can put them in they've converted or won. So we can measure that. That's a really powerful pipeline in itself. For me personally, normally got whiteboard sticky notes everywhere to do this sort of thing. Imagine like me, like I'm talking to 50 people a day. I've got thousands of leads. Now I've got a system here. I can just help to start to manage it manually. And then we've also got the rotator here, the rotator control. You can turn off a leg, you can turn on a leg, that type of thing. You got this team tree here. You can start to see, where people are being placed. Like this is a new feature that just launched in the last 24 hours. So like this is getting, built out, and we're looking at things to add to it and take away from it and perfect it, as we go in this space. So you got your team members. That's something I need to update myself, and play around with it. So, guys, I'll be transparent. I'm still learning this system. I'm still playing with this system. So are our other leaders, and we're in those very early pioneering days. But like, you can just imagine in a month's time when we've got this right, like, game over. Let's go.
But how incredibly lucky are we? Like, no other has this. This is just Josh and Down, basically.
Yeah. That's what a lot of people don't realize here too, right? So I don't like to put titles out there. For me, titles are nothing, but I am the Vice President of Field Development and Growth for Josh's corporate team with Freedom Pro. So that is our affiliate marketing company with Freedom Pro. We don't need Aurum. We're already doing very well with ourselves without Aurum, but this is something that our community, we saw as too much money on the table and too much resource on the table here to ignore. So let's get our community, our Freedom Pro community, let's plug them in and let's help them get set up. But also let's use this as a way to grow Freedom Pro community and have a bridge back into what we do as well. Just to share some insights, Scuttlebutt. I know Aurum has its own card. Freedom Pro is launching its own card. It's going to be even better. So I can't share too much more about that. But, we do like the Mindset Pro with Dr. Joseph McClendon. We're about to level up that product in a big, big way as well. So, we're going to have ways to really support this team. And it's your choice. You can either plug into those things or not, but they're going to be there for you to take advantage of and leverage if you choose to. And, basically create this space where we've got multiple products and multiple income streams to be able to create a wealth community, that is healthy, wealthy, and free.
That's amazing. Thank you. Always up for another card, Marty.
Of course.
That's amazing. Is there any other questions before Jeff has to shoot off to his next call?
Yeah, I've literally got 5. I've got 5 minutes. I'm already probably running a bit over.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, from me, like, I appreciate you guys. I've never had, such an amazing leader as you and Josh. Like, everyone, I've had like my uplines, but no one at the top that's been just really wants everyone else to win. It's not about themselves, It's like you put your oxygen mask on, but you're definitely there to help everyone else. And
yeah, success is earned, and leadership and growth. It takes time. Like I say to everybody, be the leader that you wished you had. If you'd met me 5 or 6 years ago, I wasn't ready for this type of leadership. I wasn't ready for this type of conversation. So leadership is something we grow into.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's nice to feel supported as well. Like I reach out to you. I know some of my team reaches out to you. People have reached out to Josh, and we actually get replies, which is a nice change. So,
yeah, that is pretty cool. You normally don't get a reply from a CEO level type sort of conversation, and so that was always one thing that very impressed me with Josh is he's the type of guy that will get down in the his hands and knees and get in the trenches and get dirty with us and build from the ground, not from the top.
Exactly. Like it just still blows my mind. We're only like 3 months into this.
Yes.
3 months, guys, like it's insane. But anyway, on cards, Aurum chat told me, or there's something else told me cards are available, but I've heard the community's not. Do you know?
Yeah. So the scuttlebutt on that is no, they're not available right now, but they are especially being shipped here to Australia, but they're not far away, guys. But you can use the virtual card. Daz is actually probably a testimony. He's been using the virtual card left, right, and center. And the great thing about that is I know Dave just purchased the card too. And because I'm Dave's direct sponsor and at the level of elite, I got a 79% commission for his purchase. And every time he tops up his card, I get from the top up fee, I get 79% commission on that. So that's pretty awesome.
That's so How good's that? And there's so many new things coming out as well, like amazing.
Yeah, it's like the gold. So I highly recommend everybody go buy at least $1,000 of gold if they can get into that competition that they're going to run. That closes on April 30th. And so, you know, there's an opportunity there to win some gold. But if you're in a position to go do it, yeah, go make sure you buy $1,000 worth of gold. So you get a ticket. If you can buy 2,000, buy 2,000. So you get 2 tickets, and take advantage of those promotions. There is a cruise that's going to be announced, if it hasn't already, for the leaders who get into that space, and I believe that's going to be July. But they'll be earned on volume types of thing.
And there's so much cool stuff coming out from the Maldives as well. There's
Yes.
like all bits and pieces. So to everybody, like, we don't know either. We know as much as you guys right now, with all the new stuff, with the real estate in Bali and everything like that. Like, we don't know. We've seen a story. We're just waiting to hear as well. So we can't give you any inside information because we don't have it.
Yeah. Look, and here's the thing too on that. Like, as soon as we do know, the information comes down the line pretty fast. So my encouragement for you is plug into these calls, plug into the leadership calls that Josh and I run, plug into the power hour calls that Dazza and Sarah run sort of at 12 p.m. Sydney time every day except for Mondays. And, you know, leverage the team, leverage the resources, leverage the community, leverage the story. You know, this business is built on one key word, leverage. So leverage it.
100%. Well, I'll let you go so you can get onto your next call. But thank you. We really, really appreciate you. And please pass that on to Josh as well. We are so grateful for you guys. And let's get going, guys. It's so exciting.
Cool. As soon as this replay is available, Jodie, I'll send it through to you, and you can do what you need to do with it. But thank you very much for your time, team, and look forward to meeting you all in person one day soon. But let's just get out there and create a Voyager factory and help people get to Voyager as fast as possible. Here's a little secret: I got to Voyager on day one by using my own money. I got 2 positions. I put $500 on my top. I went and then put $7,500 below. There you go. Thank you. There you go. On Voyager, and away you go.
We're talking about today.
Yeah. So you know, be smart about this too. Only put in what you can afford to lose and all that sort of stuff. You know, we're not financial advisors here and all that sort of thing. But look, guys, if there's money on the table like there is, I truly believe in the next 6 to 12 months, we are going to see 10, 20, 30, 40 millionaires in our team alone. And I know I'm going to be one of them. The question is today, are you going to be one of them?
I am.
Love it. Claim it. Make it happen. All right, guys. See you at the top.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.